Hey guys, Dr. Drunk aka here with a game for you. Actually, it's a replay review. It's going to be an all tier 10 game, and you've got my buddy Coop Dog here in his Shimakaze. He's on Haven, he's on the south spawn, and it is Domination. Taking a look at the map, you've got a carrier on each side, you've got Des Moines, you have a pair of Austins on the other side. That's a really nasty ship. A Haragumo, a Shimakaze, and a Gearing. Now, this is post 10.0 patch, so I don't know what Coop's running for his captain build. He has a detection of 5.6, which is standard for the Shima with concealment, so we have to assume that he is running concealment. Other than that, I don't know what his captain skills are. He's more than likely going to be running a full torpedo build, that's my guess. Looks like his torp reload is somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 minute 45 seconds, give or take. So I'm guessing this is a full torp reload build. He is running 12Ks, which obviously that's what you should be running. 20K torpedoes are really only were really only that effective when we were playing tier 10 clan battles, only because people don't tend to expect it. He's also running RPF, pretty much a go-to on any torpedo boat. And typical place that you will see destroyers come in, you'll see them come in right around that E4 line or that about G3, G4 island. And typically they'll try to sneak into the cap, turn around, and head back towards the A cap. Typically, you'll have battleships come down the 1-2 line. You'll have somebody, usually a Des Moines, post up around the F3 line. So, Shima going wide makes a lot of sense here. It provides a lot of spotting. Now, remember, this is post 10.0, so the Deadeye skill is in play. You can see the RPF switching, and it looks like Coop is going to drop some torps. He is being capped. We don't know by what, but we're going to drop some torps into that cap and generally hope for the best. As we come around the island, there's a Kremlin sitting there. Looks like the Des Moines was spotted. I think that was the Des Moines. Spotted to the north. So there's no radar sitting down here, which is kind of wonderful. Means actually, Coop is the Haragumo eats Shima torps early, so that's always a good start. Haragumo's down here, Kremlin's down here, Montana's down here, and there's Yoshino down here as well. I believe those torps were off at the Kremlin, and good torps, but in this case, I mean, they're almost questionable because the Haragumo's in front of them, and he is turning out, so he's going to spot them for the Kremlin as Coop hits a torpedo on something inside the cap, which we have to assume that's the Shima now because the Haragumo ate Shima torps, the Gearing was spotted up in C, and the enemy Haragumo's right here. So, and there's also an Austin right here, and that is a frightening proposition for any destroyer, and we're going to see that later in this game. Yeah, we're going to see that later in this game. That's all I'll point out. Well, you'll know when we get there. Coop's doing the right thing here, though. He is basically kiting away, drawing the entire team towards him, keeping everything spotted. You can see he's racking up spotting. He's only got 13,000 damage right now, but 50k in spotting, and we're only not even 4 minutes into the game. So he's 100% doing exactly what a torpedo boat should be doing at this point, which is spotting and causing absolute havoc among enemy teams, destroyers, cruisers, battleships, whatever's out in open water here. Coop's team is playing very passive. You can see the battleships have not left the eye line. Their Thunder is literally still in their home cap. So the effects of Deadeye are definitely being felt at this point. And I think this was right after the patch as well, so Coop can correct me if I'm wrong on that. And Coop, if you're watching, drop your captain build down into the nice torps on the Monty. We're going to get the kill here. Nope, your Montana manages to snake that. That's disappointing. If you're watching this, drop your captain build in the comments. I'd be curious to see what it does. CV is pestering the Kremlin and the Yoshino a little bit, it looks like. The Austin is lurking around B. And the Haragumo is actually chasing you, so this is interesting that he's been spotted the entire game. And nobody tends to be shooting at him, really. I mean, Coop, you probably would agree that there's been a big meta change since the 10.0 patch, and yeah, this is interesting, to say the least. Nice torps out here, and Coop's about to do something. For a lot of people, this is something you want to take note of. He launches preemptive torps. Now, you can sit, and you can wait, and you can see, do I get lucky? If that Haragumo turns away, these torpedoes miss. What Coop is going to try and do here, he already has those torps out. He's going to fire and try to bait this Haragumo into returning fire, slowing down and turning in, and he does. Perfectly done. Absolutely masterfully done. That Haragumo got greedy, did not realize that there are probably torpedoes on the way. You've been spotted the entire time. There are probably torpedoes on the way, so probably should just turn away and bail out. Haragumo's down. The Shima is down. The Shima was killed by the Salem on the other side, I believe, and that leaves just a Gearing and the CV to cause you havoc. Now, risky proposition with a CV in game, especially with an Austin right there. Take note, Coop has smoke available. If he needs to, he can smoke. The only radar ship is the Des Moines, and the Des Moines is actually actively spotted on the other side of the map. It's that D7, looks like D7 from this. He has really nothing to worry about. The only thing he has to worry about right now is the Austin, which is his RPF target. The Gearing is nowhere to be found. The only other thing is a CV. That's Austin torpedoes right there. So, pretty much have the ability to just cap it out. There's really nothing stopping you here from just sitting in this capping it out, and then getting out on the flank and causing additional headaches for this team. If you look at the team's map position, you still have 2 battleships on the H and I line. Like I said, guys, the passive play is actually very real. Very, very real. Your CV is doing a great job of keeping things spotted so that you know what you can and can't get away with here. Although, actually, I think Coop's going to make a mistake here in a minute. These torpedoes are fine. This closes down the channel for the Yoshino. And granted, he probably has his Hydro running, but he's also dealing with the Thunder, so there's not a whole lot he's going to be able to do at this point. I think this is really the only place that Coop makes any kind of major mistake here. Kremlin hasn't been spotted for quite a while, and I understand what you're trying to do here, but as soon as you saw that Kremlin, I would just pop the smoke and and get the hell out. Of course, Austin Torps are right here. I would pop the smoke just literally as soon as you saw that Kremlin. Because Kremlin hurts, as you just saw, and watch the actual fire coming in from this Austin. Look at that. Just look at that. Coop gets real lucky there. If that Austin manages to land a bunch of that, this game is instantly over for him. And the return here is not very good because the Kremlin misses all those torpedoes. So, only major mistake there, you gave up 16,000 hit points trade for nothing. I mean, yeah, you spotted the Austin, but the Austin would have been spotted by the Thunderer as he turned away anyway. So, I mean, in that case, I smoke and I cut and I run away. Don't take the unnecessary damage from the Kremlin. It's not worth it. And why is that important? Because at this point, with only 5,000 hit points, you're forced to play a little bit more cautious. For example, if you were to spot that gearing out and that gearing happened to be, 15,000 HP. As a full health Shima, you can do some pretty significant damage and trade fairly well with that gearing. But right now you have no choice but to play extra cautious because you lost a lot of hit points early on. CV's doing a nice job of keeping you guys safe with his fighter. I'm not quite sure what your Salem's... or your Austin and your Salem. Your Salem was trying to bow tank a Conqueror, which isn't going to work. You're not sure what your GK was really doing. Kind of puzzled. Game is actually still very even at this point. You're about 12 minutes in, and the game is actually very, very even. You're up by one ship, and you're up by 50 points and a cap. Torpedo hit there, presuming that was the Kremlin, and it looks like it was the Kremlin from your damage counter. So good preemptive torps there. That's the gearing spotted. Not sure what's shooting from that smoke. Probably the Austin. And, well, we're going to find out here in a second, because looked like he was actually shooting at the torpedoes in the water. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. I don't know what to say to that. That's impressive. But other Austin is off the table. You're free to roam right now. You do have a smoke available, so you don't necessarily have to worry about getting into fighter spotting or anything like that. The Des Moines is running away. Although the Des Moines did just punch out your Thunderer, so enemy team's hanging in here. Even though they're down by a ship, they're really hanging in well, mainly because they had those early 3-cap advantage. And here's where you have to be careful. Gearing is about half health, but he is going to outtrade you very quickly. You'll get the first shot on him. You'll be able to dictate the engagement, but this is a risky play. Preemptive torps out. And again, this is going to be, those of you who are looking for help playing torpedo destroyers, this is something you want to pay attention to. Masterfully, he gets, I think that's a ledge mod gearing? I believe that's a ledge mod gearing. As soon as he's detected, the preemptive torps clap him and he's firing, so he's incentivizing the gearing to smoke up and get away. What Coop did right there, guys, if you're looking for destroyer help, especially torpedo boat help, pay attention to that. Preemptive torps are out along the location of RPF. He saw the RPF basically switch from left to right, so he threw preemptive torps around that area. He knows the gearing has to make a play for this cap. Preemptive torps, as soon as he's spotted, start shooting. The gearing is relatively low health. The gearing has to smoke in order to stay alive. Shooting at him incentivizes him to smoke, to stay alive, instead of just turn away, drop torpedoes and turn away. So, if you're having issues with engaging destroyers, pay attention to that. Use your tools that are available. Use your RPF, use your guns, use your smoke, use your detectability. That's how you manage to kill destroyers in knife fights, as a torpedo boat, truly. At this point, it's looking rather academic. You guys are up by 2 ships, 3 ships now. Des Moines has you radared. You're essentially a dead man unless you kill him right now, and of course you do. So well played by Coop as you pop across here. 135,000 damage, 4 kills, Confederate devastating strike. Landed 9 torps, that's pretty good. Only 3 shell hits. Pretty solid. Top of the team, almost 3,000 base XP. Almost 3,000 base XP. Coop, amazing job. Well played, sir. Nice use of tactics, guys. We play a ton of games like this one on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DrDrunkAKA. Head on over, drop a follow. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps out quite a bit. Until next time, guys, the bar is closing at its last call. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. See ya.